Okay, so here's how to get started with your drawing in Pixlr. Um, we're on the web page. We do not need to log in. We're going to click on the option Pixlr E. That'll bring us to this page. We're going to choose Create New, and Full HD is the option that we want. We're going to use a name that makes sense for us so that when we go looking for it later, we'll be able to find it. Now we have the blank canvas in front of us, and what we're going to want to do is start on this blank layer by filling it with white. This is the fill tool. Looks like a paint bucket. It's very similar to the same tool in Photoshop. Click, and you have filled the page with white. The color picker is here if you needed to. We just happen to have it already set to white. Now we're going to go to the layer menu, add a new layer. A PS, as you watch this, stop, pause, rewind, do whatever you need to do to make it make sense for you, okay? This video is designed to allow you to watch this at your own pace. I'm choosing the brush tool to color with. I've selected green as my color, and I'm going to go right up here to choose the size of the brush and the softness or hardness of the brush, like that. Right here is also the opacity control so that I can keep the color full blast or lighten it in order to make it mix with other colors. You can see I have a new blank layer there that now if I draw, I'm giving myself this is my ground. This will be like, green grass down here for in my view. Now on the same layer, if I use that fill tool with the green chosen, it fills in that whole area really nicely. Now one question came up yesterday. It was, what about this line that got formed? But you could use the brush and just color over that and fill it all in if that is what suits you. Now draw with as much detail as you choose to. This is just going to be a cursory getting started kind of thing. But now I'm going to do my middle ground, and I'm going to do like a cityscape. So I'm going to do a layer, new layer, and this allows me to separate things from each other in the drawing so that I can always go back and change and mix it up later. So I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to draw what I feel like would be, the color of a skyscraper or a tall building. So I'm going to go and actually start here. I'm going to give myself like a city skyline, something that looks like it's urban, and maybe draw some peaked buildings and some flatter ones too. And you never know, cities are all different. Maybe give us a nice tower here. Hey, if you're ever drawing something you don't like what it is that you just drew, always go to the edit menu, choose undo. That last click that you did will be editable. So I'm here, there's my tower, and now we're going over here, maybe a less pokey tower, and now we're about like a little sideways roof building like that, and then we're going to go off the edge of the page. Now, what we do is take my gray, if I want to, and fill that whole bottom area with the gray color. You may say to yourself, hey, where did the green grass go? Well, if you look at the layers on the side here, it's underneath the city layer. So now I'm just going to click on the green grass layer, drag it up in the menu, and then it appears. So there you go. We've got a foreground, a middle ground, and now I'm going to do something for the background. So again, I'm going to do a new layer. The idea, again, is all of this is changeable. You can edit it. Now, to make this clearer while I do it, I'm going to move this layer behind the cityscape right away. So it's already going to be behind our buildings. So if we want a nice, pleasant blue sky, we're here in the color picker. Remember, you have the full spectrum of colors to choose from here. Choose colors that, work for your piece and make you happy. I'm going to click here, and now you can see the blue sky. has taken its place. Now, this is a very this image really lacks detail. So what I would do in this case is go to my green grass, and I'm probably going to use another shade of green to give it some accents, or draw some extra little blades of grass. The brush might be a little thick, so maybe we'll shrink it so the green grass is a little thinner. Yeah, there we go. And you could honestly add details like this all day. So feel free to stretch out and do something cool. Um, Up here in my cityscape, I'm going to go for some gray, but I'm going to make some nice dark color here because I want some windows. Now, I'm choosing the shape tool, and it says rectangle, but rectangles are just optional squares, right? Now, in this case, what it did was it made a gray outline with a white background. I don't like that as much, so I'm going to undo it. I'm going to choose fill instead, and then I'm going to click here, and it is it's still empty on the inside, but regardless, it's allowing me to do some cool window shapes and maybe some lines of windows in my city buildings. So there's a lot of tools in here that will allow you to do different things. Um, Next up is my blue sky. And again, as I work, I'm going through the layers and clicking on each layer that I want to work on. So one cool thing that I would advise is to try something like some clouds. Now, clouds we usually see, let's do some like white color clouds, but we're going to lower the opacity so the clouds are going to be very fluffy looking. Increasing the softness, I'm making the brush much bigger. You can see the softness is making it look very fuzzy. And now when I draw from an edge, I go in there and I'm getting this nice, puffiness of a cloud. And as I build it up, it gets a little bit darker. The cool thing would be to paint it behind a building. So here's a cloud, and it's going right behind the building. It's allowing me to make it, give it some more depth. You don't always see the sun in the sky, so I'm going to avoid drawing like a yellow lemon sun. I'm going to just go back to my foreground and add some more details. So, things in the foreground include human-sized things. So, say like I may want to draw a tree. So I'm in the orange section, so I can get some a nice chocolatey brown color, and this would be a good color for the trunk of the tree. So I'm decreasing the softness of my brush. I'm just gonna draw a nice. Oh, that's the opacity is low there. Don't forget, see what I did? I don't like it. I'm gonna do the edit menu and choose undo. Always remember that. I'm gonna get that opacity back up to 100% and shrink the brush down a tiny bit so I have some more to work with. And then I'm gonna draw like a nice, brown looking tree trunk here with some branches coming off the top. And as you draw and you build, you can draw things that you're comfortable with. It's awesome. You don't always have to be experimenting, but I like this a lot. I'm gonna get some green that I can make the leaves of the tree out of, and then just paint that all in. Don't do everything in one click, because if you make a mistake somewhere along the way, you might have to undo. So just try your hardest to make that the way that it is. Once again, just like with the grass, I like to do more than one color. So I'm going to get a darker brown color for the tree, and then I'm going to draw in some details in that tree. As you work on something closer up, don't forget this is a zoom control right here, and then you can reposition so you can see it better. You can also reposition with the little hand icon right there too. So if I'm here and I got the tree chosen, I made the brush smaller, and maybe I'll draw the brush a teeny tiny bit even smaller. There we go. And just give this tree like a nice outline to make it stand out. Like that. So you could just keep on building and adding. Remember, no shame ever in how many layers you have. The more layers you have, the more options you have to change things later, and you can always say work on something for a while and then change it after the fact. City buildings could have more details. You could have things closer up. It's great to draw or try to draw a person or an animal in there too, and just see how it goes. As you work, it's great to go back to the home page, and occasionally you can see your picture is right there. And if you click on that little heart icon, it's going to keep it. So now we're going to go back to the picture, and we can do a little bit more work on it. One of the interesting things is to just remember toggle the layers on and off so you can see what the picture looks like with different things in there, and know that you could take out this whole city layer and do a new layer, put it between these two layers, take a brush and just over here and just draw yourself a nice little house. You could take the whole thing and change the concept that you were working on there. And I'm going to give my little house a some perspective, and then you can get into details like the front door and windows and stuff, and everything doesn't have to be exactly right the first time, because you can always go back and change it up. So that's all I'm going to do for the demo right now, to just show you. This was just to get you a little bit something more to look at if you needed a visual guide. Again, watch and pause as you go so you can make sure that it makes sense for you, and stretch out your ideas and try to complete an image. You can see one of my goals is leaving nothing blank. There's no empty white space, like I didn't consider it. It's something we always want to do, is have a complete image that represents our idea, and follow through with an idea, because it's very easy to grab an eraser and just blast away at this picture, and then you wind up with nothing. And you did a lot of work, so you should really take time and save as you go, and preserve the work and enhance it, change it. And if you had an idea that you changed your mind about, save this one because it shows your effort, and then do another if you need to. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.